welcome and thank you for joining us tonight here at the First National Bank Arena, home of the Arkansas State Red Wolves. Tonight they are hosting the University of Arkansas Monticello and the Cotton Blooms.
Yes,
Cotton
we got a lot of history here between these two teams. They recently played last year with A-State taking a 83-52, and Akasha Westbrook immediately starts the fireworks off with the cut to the basket and gets an easy left-hand layup.
Yeah, it's been a great start to exhibition so far for the Lady Red Wolves. They won last week against University of Arkansas at Fort Smith. They won 100-73 in a pretty solid show out.
They started off really slow in that game, but you could see after halftime the adjustments they made. They sped it up and used all that depth they got right there on the bench.
Absolutely.
Okay, we're seeing the first.
As a foul's being called on Charlene Perry from Monticello.
It's
she's inbounding.
It's on Morgan. Okay, so we have
Foul's
our
on
first.
Morgan Wallace.
Yes. So we have our first foul, personal, on Morgan. Okay, now we see a turnover by Monticello. A little sloppy to start the game, but you know everybody's got to settle in. Alicia inbounds, and we see Morgan taking the ball up the court. See, what we see with a lot of A-State's set pieces, it's a lot of off-ball movement. Rather than stand still and stagnate, you'll constantly see a lot of movement. You gotta love that.
There's a lot of ball movement with this team, and they create open shots just like that, and she's going to take the foul.
Akasha Westbrook fouled on the three-point attempt. Wide open. You see what that constant motion does. If you're setting solid screens, players are going to pop open every single time.
Right, so she's already got 2 on the night. She'll be shooting. They're going to call it on the floor. So Williams will inbound.
Oh, they called that before the shot. That's interesting. And we see a turnover again. Now we've seen back-to-back turnovers.
Too long on the
too long.
The inbound.
Monticello with the inbound. We're seeing a lot of man pressure to start this game here. Clearly, Coach Boyer wants them in their grill. He's trying to establish some dominance early with ball pressure. Okay, we see a steal by Akasha Westbrook, who last year led the entire Sun Belt with 71. First player since A-State to do that, and since the 80s. It's a foul.
The first time Arkansas State has had a player that led the league in steals since the early 90s. As a foul is charged, 22, Mackenzie Johnson of Monticello.
So we see the game is this reminds me, have shades of last week's victory over Arkansas at Fort Smith. The game's just starting a little slow for both squads. You see a lot of movement, but it's a lot of bad passes, sloppy play.
On a game that relies on ball movement, you're going to see that a lot, especially if they're not fine-tuned.
Oh, a turnover. Madison Heckert with the turnover, and immediately leads to a lay-in on the fast break.
They're going to take advantage of that.
Every time. You know, the great teams, they say what separates the great teams is not, you know what I'm saying?
Another turnover by Morgan Wallace there.
They say what separates the great teams in these type of games is how they capitalize off these turnovers, because if you force them and you're not able to score off of them, then essentially, you know, you're not going to win your game. Because these are ones that add up at the end of a game when you're in the fourth quarter. You needed those 4 points. You could have drawn this foul. You forced those turnovers.
Absolutely. That was out of bounds off of Arkansas State, so Monticello will inbound from the baseline.
Monticello to inbound, leading to a corner. Looks like they're going to get it out to the 3.
All right, and an open 3. Just hits rim, though.
Madison Heckert with the rebound. We see an open corner shot.
Kayla Williams in the corner, hits rim, rebounded by Taylor Farley.
Monticello seeking to slow the game down. Guess they're tired of the up and down. They want to get a set piece set up. Okay, we've seen a lot of off-ball movement. I like what A-State's doing here. They're not switching. They're fighting over every screen.
Perry from the wing.
Ooh.
And that's going to hit nothing. So Arkansas State will get to inbound again.
Whoa, did she touch the ball?
Oh, they're going to say that Heckert touched the ball before it went out. So Monticello will get another chance here.
Okay. We see Peyton checking into the game. Peyton Martin checks in. Last year she was a little bit injured, but it's good to see her nice and healthy this year. She's going to provide a lot of depth.
Inbounded to Mackenzie Johnson, who will take it to the rim and draw the foul. Looks like she'll be getting 2 free throws, first free throws of the game.
Peyton Martin comes in and immediately Fouls look like good defense, but see, when you're down there in that paint, you got to do more than move your feet. You have to remain vertical, and you don't want to have too much contact lower body as well.
Monticello takes their first lead.
Mackenzie Johnson
Hardly
knocks
3
down
minutes
that
into
layup.
this game, and pretty low-scoring game thus far.
Starting slow. You see Mackenzie Johnson knocking down the first free throw. These are also important. The great teams separate themselves with these foul shots. You need these.
Right, and she sinks both. Monticello takes a 4-2 lead.
We see Arkansas State pushing the ball up the court
Washington
immediately.
passes it down in the paint. She'll take it outside and recovered by Kasha Westbrook.
They pass
Passes
it down to
inside.
Peyton Martin. She spins back up and under. Licia with the rebound, and that's a foul. We'll see Licia Peavy at the line. Now, I've noticed that Arkansas State is employing a lot of this pace and space. They've got some bigs who are athletic, as we just seen with with Peyton and with Licia. But one thing you'll notice is that you'll see them out around the three-point line as well. They've got that range. They're not just dedicated to being in the post.
Absolutely, you'll see them circle circle from deep for the most part.
For two. Oh,
So
we
we're
see
back.
some full court press. Okay, they're pressuring the ball from the inbound.
Definitely want to give that defense some work early on in this exhibition game.
Oh, we see the ball pressure. Okay. And Arkansas State is now employing, that's another foul on
And
Peyton
Gina
Martin.
Harden almost gets the shot to go, but she'll get 2 free throws.
That's 2 on Peyton Martin within her first 2 minutes on the court. A little bit excited.
So that's 3 back-to-back possessions, ending in free throws for either team.
Game's just starting slow. You got to figure at the first media timeout that the coaches will try to regroup the players, try to tell them, play their game. Right now, I'd say Monticello's content with the pace. We see they don't have nearly as much depth as Arkansas State, so they're going to be more inclined to slow it down versus Arkansas State, as we see, trying to push it every rebound.
All right, and she'll split the free throws, so Monticello maintains a 5-4 lead.
And immediately, even off the made free throw, we see Arkansas State pushing it.
Washington dishes out to Peavy, who will go in, and she'll get fouled going up for a
Charge
shot
on
there.
Licia.
That's going to be another turnover there.
It was a good move to the paint, but sometimes you go that strong, you have to have your head up. Otherwise, you will run into the trees and the forest down there. Monticello's doing an excellent job staying this early, and I believe they're causing quite a bit of fouls. That foul trouble, even with Arkansas State's depth, could catch up to them eventually.
Yeah, Arkansas State already with 5 fouls to start the game off.
We see the passing lane being played, and one.
So Washington gets to the line after making that layup.
Makes up atones for the pass down here with the steal and then the layup plus the foul. Arkansas State has to be pleased with the pressure on the ball they've provided thus far this game. So you see a lot of coaches employ different philosophies on the collegiate level. Okay, you see some coaches who insist on zones, 2 to 3, and then you'll see some coaches like this who want to be man up and pressure. And we saw Arkansas State start switching every screen. So that's why
Washington missed the extra free throw there. So Monticello will get the ball back.
Monticello brings the ball up, working her way to her left, trying to get the play started. We see the passing lanes are completely wiped out. They're switching everything.
Kizzy's drawing in, and that shot will just hit off rim as Washington gets the rebound.
Another rebound. You see the handle on her.
She's
Oh
guarded
my,
by
no look
Kizzy.
pass.
Pass to the Westbrook out in the corner. And she'll drive it in, but she'll miss that shot.
There's 3 on Peyton.
And there's an on-ball foul on Westbrook.
Westbrook thought she got hit on that floater, and we see Peyton get a 3rd foul. She's going to probably have to come out. Yeah, we see the heralded freshman from Kentucky set to check in, the phenom in the post. Trinity Jackson, who's also a legacy player here, with her mother having also played under Coach Boyer here at Arkansas State University. Again, we see Monticello taking advantage of these foul calls and knocking down their free throws. Meanwhile, on the opposite end, we've seen A-State already miss 3 free throws. These are the ones you got to have. These are gimmies. They give you a chance to slow the game down, to collect yourself, and thus get back and set your defense. Especially with Monticello having to defend this full court because Arkansas State's pressing it down their throat every chance they can get. Oh, and Monticello employing a matchup zone here. And that's how you do it. Whenever you beat the press, in order to beat a full court press, you always want to get the ball right to the middle. The middle will always have full survey of the floor. And we see they punished that press immediately, getting it down to Trinity Jackson. They held it freshman.
Getting her on the board early here.
She came immediately being effective.
Out to the corner.
Ooh, knocks down the three-point
Jada
shot.
Harden knocks out the 3.
Great shot from Jada Harden. Once again, we see this Arkansas State ball movement. You got to be impressed. It feels like you're seeing at least 4 of the 5 players every possession touching the ball. It's not like one person is just dominating it. Back down to Trinity Jackson. She goes up, gets on rebound, gets fouled. She's down there dominating. This is her time.
You see an instant value when she checks into the game, and that's just something that you love to see in a player, especially in her first season.
Immediately. And you see the impact she's already having on the boards right off the go. We'll have our first timeout. So, okay, if you're the coach for Monticello, what are you telling your players right now?
Well, defensively, they're doing a pretty solid job. The only real misstep was on that full court press where they got that open shot down for Trinity Jackson. You just want to play it safe. You don't want to cause all these fouls. I mean, both teams have been fouling pretty hard early. Arkansas State obviously has 5, Monticello with 3. So you want to play solid defense, but you want to be careful with it.
If I'm Arkansas State, I'm telling my players, you've got them locked up. We don't have to touch them. You don't have to foul. You see what we're doing. They've already caused 3 turnovers. And also, if I'm the coach, I'm preaching, finish. There are a lot of opportunities down here to get these and ones and add free throws. And you're seeing a lot of missed free throws. These are the gimmies that can cost you later down the road. And if you build these strong habits now, these exhibition games, later on in the season, they'll continue. Those can lead to important victories. But I'm like you, Monticello should be very pleased with how they're playing right now. They're keeping it close. With the lead, actually. And see, I'm looking now at Monticello. They've only missed 1 free throw. That's the way you do it.
I mean, if you can force those fouls and you can make those free throws, that's going to help your team a lot.
And then they're getting some of the key players on Arkansas State. The 6th man, first off the bench, Peyton Martin, already with 3 personals. So these are things that add up over time. Considering this is still the first quarter as well, it's a key piece. They may have to keep her out, or at least have her defend without fouling as much.
After a pretty slow 3 minutes to start the game, both teams have kind of gotten their rhythm going. It is now 10-8 after only scoring 4 points in the first 3 minutes. Monticello leading.
You got to think that at some point they're about to say sub in Jada Ford. Seeing how she's led the team with 100 threes made over the last 2 seasons, she's a known electric scorer. Arguably the best sharpshooter on the squad, aside from Starr, who actually led them in three-point percentage last year. So you figure she has to come and help stretch the floor at some point soon. And we're returning with Trinity Jackson at the free throw line for 2. And here we're already starting to see the death kick in for Arkansas State now. By my count, we're now seeing should be the 8th player who's already subbed in. Meanwhile, Monticello, I'm looking at, they've still got the core 5 with 1 new sub in. That death eventually can wear somebody out, no matter how good your team is conditioned.
First one off the rim.
They say when you're shooting your free throw, you see how she lines her right foot up so that it's directly at the rim. When you line up like that and you're a right-hander, your arm's directly at the rim, so it's an easier shot to be made. She misses both, and Arkansas State shooting 40% at the free throw line. Wide open 3 for Monticello on the opposite end. It's off. Rebounded by Westbrook. Being pushed by Washington. Arkansas State wide open three in transition.
Just out of the rim.
Over the back called on the freshman Trinity Jackson.
Those are the kind of shots that you want to see those players make, those wide open threes from the corner there.
Exactly. That's a great shot. If I'm the coach, I'm content with that. It was in rhythm, and it really almost went down. Oh, and now Arkansas State is in the penalty. Looks like 1-1.
So McKendy Johnson will line up to take 2 free throws.
Another made free throw. Monticello taking advantage of these opportunities early and often at the line. She goes 2 for 2 from the line.
And all of a sudden, Monticello's up 4.
And they're back in the full court press. We see Arkansas State get to the middle of the floor and break it down. They feed Trinity Jackson. Turn around. Good in the lane, right across the middle.
You can see her value early in this game.
Absolutely. She's
going to
dominating
a lot
down
this
low.
season.
And she's moving her feet very well on defense as well. And you see Arkansas State talking. Backdoor cut, charge. Arkansas State does a good job getting Westbrook outside the restricted area. Feet set. A rare miscue by Monticello early on. Once again, we see Monticello set up in the full court press. And you see how Arkansas State has the corners. They have nobody in the middle, but what will happen is man who passes it in goes to the middle. That's the way you take that away. Put in the middle, immediately press is broken.
Really putting their passing to the test in this game.
Wide open three, in and out. But again, that's a very good shot you're content to take if you're Arkansas State.
If they can keep getting those shots all night, they'll be okay.
Trinity Jackson down there eating up the rebounds. Like you said, we're seeing the impact clear as day right now. And an and one from Peyton Tennyson. Takes it in, driving hard to the left. Took advantage of soft defense right there. That's why they say on fast breaks you should always try to, you always want to have 2 people going back immediately to try to set your defense.
Star Taylor checks into the game for Jaira Washington.
Star Taylor is one of the many great players on this team. Also is the sister of Blaze Taylor, former defensive back here, and her father is Coach Trooper Taylor, D-back coach here at Arkansas State University. She also has the nonprofit Power of One or Two. You see A-State doing a great job staying in the passing lanes. Almost no breathing room. Oh my, great pass.
Desiree King shot out a rocket to the corner, who gets it to Brianna Hales, who misses that shot.
Another rebound for Jackson, down there eating it all. Whatever she wants, she's getting today. You see, okay, we see a blocking foul right there on the corner. Star drove in, and her hip was getting rubbed. Okay.
We're seeing a lot of cross-court passes here.
You got to think at some point somebody's going to start looking up on those and taking those away. Very interesting. Now, Monticello has 2 players who have not checked out at any point so far. So I'm wondering when they're going to try to get them a breather. Are they going to wait until the next media timeout or what? Okay, here we go. As soon as I said it, she comes out. Johnson now gets a chance to breathe her. She's been 4-4 at the free throw line as well. Both go down for Star Taylor.
Quick 2 points after checking in.
That's the way to have an immediate impact.
Got Brianna Hales passing it out to Nina Kizzy, who draws it in and gets the layup. It's going to tie it back at 14.
We see them pass it down to Trinity in the paint. Spin move, drop step, right there. Yeah, all day. You see that? Puts it right in the middle and then goes to the opposite hand rather than going to the teeth of the defense.
She has the height advantage over all the players on the court for Monticello right now. So, I mean, if you get the ball into her, she has the advantage.
We see a steal. Oh,
Mouthpiece come out on the floor.
Okay. Wow. Out of the
Scrimmage
scrum, Monticello comes with it. Jump shot right there. Off.
Can't take advantage.
Stolen by Arkansas State. They push it down the court. 2-on-2. Crossover in the middle. Passes. Star Taylor into the middle with the left-hand layup. Arkansas State trying to take advantage of some of the sloppy play. That's 2 straight steals we saw. And they continue the full court press. Dribbles off her own foot. Star Taylor has had an absolute impact since she's come in. 2 straight baskets along with the forcing a turnover. Madison Hecker comes in and replaces Trinity Jackson, who's absolutely dominating. She gets a breather.
Morgan Wallace also checking in for Peyton Tennyson.
Peyton Tennyson with a really good stretch right there.
Star Taylor with the ball, hoping to lead some momentum.
And another basket. She scored the last 6.
Yeah.
Looks like a takeover, huh?
When you can see instant production off the bench like that, that's really something that you love to see in a player.
Exactly. And then you have to wonder if you know, Coach Boyer looks at this slow start, if he maybe inserts her into the starting lineup for the next game, considering the impact made. We see a cross-court pass, wide open three-pointer. Off the front of the rim, Westbrook down there, offensive rebound, and puts it back up.
An excellent offensive rebound to set up a second shot there.
Arkansas State starting to pull away, up 22-14. They've extended this lead to 8. Another floater along the baseline, just off. Saved by Arkansas State. Foul called on Madison Hecker.
What's remarkable is we're seeing this momentum start to build up, and they haven't even started hitting those deep shots yet.
Exactly. You got to imagine when the threes come, they're going to rain because those type of shots anyway come in bunches. So when you're cold to start the game, like the coaches say, you got to have a shooter has to have a forgetful mentality. You got to forget that last play and keep playing.
Shari Swift shooting 2 free throws for Monticello.
They continued pristine shooting at the free throw line.
Taylor Farley checking in for Brianna Hales for Monticello.
Monticello, sensing that Arkansas State wishes to push, miss, or make, already sends the defense back. And knocks them both down. Monticello 9 for 10 from the free throw line. Monticello with the steal.
They tried to get that down into Hecker, but she couldn't hold on to that pass.
It was a little too low for you. You got to throw that up for your big man. Anytime you got a post player at that advantage, you don't want them to have it low where players can, you know, be on the same playing field. So you think they'll give her the same entry passes as they've been giving Jackson. Travel called on Monticello, another turnover. Seems like they're starting to get sort of flustered a little bit here at the end of the first.
You can tell it's an exhibition game. We're seeing a lot of turnovers, a lot of fouls.
You got to think coaches are going to, you know, calm it down, you know, after the quarter, try to run some more set plays.
Time 6 down at the end of the first quarter, under 5 seconds left, and Star Taylor, she's going to miss that shot. She'll get the rebound. Won't have enough time to get up another shot. All right, so after the first quarter, the Lady Red Wolves lead 22-16 over the Monticello Cotton Blossoms.
If I'm Monticello, I'm telling my players that's okay. We slowed down a little bit at the end of the first quarter, but right in this game, we're a few sloppy turnovers away from having the lead still. And you got to think, you know, they're defending the three-point well. Arkansas State well known for its ability to go bombs away, and we still have only seen 1 3 made. So, and then if you're Arkansas State, on the opposite, you got to think we did not play well or play to our standard at all. Here we are with the 6-point lead and pulling away with momentum. They can stop the fouls and allow them to keep pushing the issue on the court. Should have no reason they shouldn't be able to pull away. at the start of the second quarter. We've got the Arkansas State Lady Red Wolves up 22-16 on the Monticello Cotton Blossoms. We saw Arkansas State get into a little bit of foul trouble there, you know, at near the halfway point of the first quarter. Put Monticello in a position where they could get free throws the rest of the way. So let's see what happens. Monticello bringing the ball up, and we see Arkansas State still continuing that pressure. Feet movement. And a charge. Once again, Arkansas Westbrook, this is her second charge drawn, getting her feet set and outside of the restricted area. And we see sharpshooter Jada Ford has checked in. You got to think it's about to be bombs away. Looking to spread the floor.
We saw Star Taylor build a little momentum there at the end of the first quarter.
She gets a breather to start.
So now we'll see who gets to take over and start the second.
We see Westbrook try to go high-low game with Jackson down low. It was stolen, but it was a good effort. You got to like the idea.
Those inside passes, those have been really a key source of trouble for the Red Wolves so far.
Right, we've been seeing lots of deflections, lots of active hands. Look at the length Arkansas State possesses. It seems like every player's got nice wingspan.
Odell drives in, misses the layup. Fought for by Chari Swift of the Monticello.
We see Monticello doing a good job fighting. And a three by Monticello.
Found a wide open Odell in the corner. She's going to make that shot.
Every time. Oh, we see, looks like they're trying to run they're running essentially it's a 2-3 zone, except it has properties of a 1-3-1. Jada Ford immediately draws a foul going to the hole. Monticello trying to slow down the game with the zone defense rather than man. They saw by man they were having to match up down low with Trinity Jackson where they weren't getting anywhere, so instead they zone where they can almost double team at will down there.
Both teams started early in the first quarter with foul trouble. Now Monticello has two quick before we've even hit a minute and a half.
Jada Ford immediately knocks down the first one. And you see Coach Boyer countering the zone defense by putting in somebody else who can stretch the floor and move. Now, whenever you're facing a 2-3 zone, you want to have a player running that baseline, and you want to have another one flashing to your elbows. 2-3 is always going to have somebody trying to stay on the ball, and then your three back are always moving. So when you get the ball right there in the middle at the free throw line area, that's going to be your high-low game right there. You can pass to your baseline cutter every time.
I think he's going to knock down both of those to extend the lead to 24-19.
We see Monticello continuing to be pressured, but they're looking non-flustered. Doing a good job moving the ball.
Kizzy moving the ball, finds a wide open Harden, who drives in, misses that layup. It's going to be tipped out by Martin.
With another offensive rebound and another baseline jumper.
Haven't seen too many second chance opportunities so far, but both teams have been capitalizing on those.
Oh, she got away with one right there with the travel. You see a deep three taken. Westbrook with a good effort out there. She's hustling. She's playing 110%.
Eventually, you got to see those shots start falling, especially, you know, this is still an exhibition game, but at some point you want to get that shot down.
Exactly.
Because that's how you pull away in these games.
Exactly, and it's going to be a confidence boost, you know what I'm saying, for the rest of the season. Once you see them go down, it's like, it's just as much mental as it is physical. Once you see the first one go down, you know nothing's wrong with my shot. I'm able to do what I need to do. You can keep pulling the trigger. You got to have that shooter's mentality. You got to be forgetful every time. But I'm sure Arkansas State's not going to go away from those shots. Those are there all game, it seems, at least thus far. So. I must say, Akasha Westbrook is living up to the hype in the building. You know, as a preseason All-Sun Belt first-team player, she's all over the place. We see her scoring, rebounding, leading them in steals right now. She's doing her job.
That's exactly what you want to see out of your starting guard.
You got to wonder if Monticello's going to continue with the 2-3 zone scene that's been pretty effective the last 4 possessions, or if maybe they switch again, you know, try to further confuse Arkansas State.
You can see Boyer over here. He's definitely trying to come up with a plan to counter that defense. So we'll see if he figures something out to stop it.
We saw him make a couple moves that looked to counter the zone, but the ball movement wasn't exactly where they wanted to be within the last 3 plays. One of the main reasons Monticello remains in the game, crazily enough, though, 90% at the line versus 40s, you know what I'm saying, 60% for Arkansas State. They're 6 of 10, and they're 9 of 10. That's another 3 points.
And they're getting to the line more often.
Exactly. But the reason Arkansas State's maintaining the lead, look at that percentage. They've got them shooting 27% overall from the game. So they're right there. They're defending well. And you got to think, eventually that defense is always going to turn to offense. A great offense can be, the best offense can be a great defense, essentially. If you can force turnovers, that's going to lead to live ball. Even if you can't shoot, you're going to be able to push the issue. So every time.
Another shooting 0% so far from behind the line. I mean, they're still shooting 47 on the field, which
speaks volumes. You got to imagine the shower is coming from 3. You got to imagine, and Monticello, they've got to be ready to brace for it.
You got a lot of wide open looks. As soon as they start dropping, they can pull away.
That's all it takes. And if you're Monticello, you want to tighten it up before that happens. Because all it takes is seeing one player is contagious. Shooting has always been contagious, especially with this team. As soon as you see one person make a 3, next thing you know, everybody's reining it in. You can look up and be down 10 to 15.
As Perry inbounds ball from Monticello, Arkansas State set up in the full court press.
This is actually a very dangerous time in this game, if you ask me, right now for Monticello. This is very delicate. This could go either way. If they, all it takes is a couple turnovers there, they could be down double digits in the GIF.
You've cut the lead down to 3. Now let's see if you can keep pushing.
Monticello with the miss. Peyton Martin with the rebound.
Washington pushing forward. She finds Martin, who misses the wide open layup. Monticello with another rebound.
But you gotta if you're Arkansas State's another good shot on the break. It was wide open, just a miss.
Plenty of good looks.
We're not seeing enough boxing out from Arkansas State right now either. It's just the amount of these offensive rebounds they've gotten has been kind of crazy.
They're seeing that on both sides. A lot of wide open 3s, but Monticello's only hit 2 of them so far, and that's kept them in the game.
No shot. They call the foul on the ground before she puts it up. That was a good effort right there. She pushed it down. She saw where it was essentially nothing going on down there. It's a good move. You always want to. You just got to love this mindset. Arkansas stays on attack, and they're keeping Monticello on their heels as a result.
As Mackenzie Johnson checks in for Desiree King for Monticello.
Alicia Peavy checks in for Kasha Westbrook, giving her a breather.
Ford to inbound.
Boom. Immediately we see Peavy come in and hit a mid-range jumper right there from the elbow, taking advantage of the gaps in that 2-3. A steal by Arkansas State. Here's a chance to push it again.
She got trapped down in the corner, didn't have anywhere to go with it.
A good pass right there, and there it goes.
All of a sudden, it's turned into a 7-point game. Kizzy with a bad pass. It's intercepted by Williams. And she's going to take it all the way.
Up and over right there. Takes advantage of her reaching it. What did I say about this time period? Said this could go either way. Look up. They're down 9 already. Sloppy passes with the pressure that Arkansas State's putting on, immediately leading to points on the other end.
That's exactly what you see coming out of a timeout. He made the adjustments, and it's clearly showed.
You gotta love the mindset Arkansas. They've been on attack on both sides of the ball. They're not even letting the foul trouble phase them. They're going to continue the pressure all game.
Well, and I think one of the biggest improvements in this quarter is they haven't committed a single foul yet. While Monticello has 3, and we're almost halfway through the second quarter.
We're also seeing Arkansas State looking somewhat better conditioned and with more depth. They're able to keep players in and keep them fresh. They can keep rotating it over and over. Meanwhile, we're seeing Monticello, a couple players looking sort of winded and on these fast breaks. We're seeing some sort of half efforts getting down due to, maybe some tired legs, maybe needing a little wind.
That's definitely what you want to see in these exhibition games. You want to see Coach Boyer just kind of figuring out these rotations, figuring out which lineups work best. In regards to the Fort Smith game, he said, we had a lot of things early that they didn't really handle well, but I think you saw that we have an ability to score, especially when we get out into space in the open court. I mean,
Boom.
they definitely developed a lot after that first game at Fort Smith. And they've improved a lot in this game as well.
You can see they're getting stronger quarter by quarter. Arkansas State continue to push. We see Licia posting up, drop step, over the lift, getting to the line again. What a great move. She set up, see, you know, they always say if you want to eat good, you got to start cooking early. You see immediately she came down, she immediately sealed her woman behind her, had her pinned down there. All you had to do was get it into her. Immediately did a drop step, was already under the rim. That's just great. That's great coaching.
And there you
That's
go,
what
4
you tell
minutes
your
into the
players to
quarter. Monticello with 4 fouls.
And the lead extends further.
And that's a 10-point lead for the Red Wolves now.
If you're Monticello, you got to ask yourselves, are you going to shrink from this moment or are you going to rise to the occasion? You see that the lead is extending. Are you guys going to slow it down, try to run some set plays? Are you going to really still try to run this game with them? Because right now, it's like putting a bike in the fast lane. This is not their style of play, clearly. You see when they were slow and methodical to start the game, they were able to keep up. And now they're trying to play fast the whole way. They're sort of out of sorts right now.
You got to stop the avalanche before it buries you.
Slowing it down and getting to the line. Those are 2 ways to do it.
Out in the corner for Chari Swift, and she'll miss that 3.
Oh, my.
Ooh.
A block. What a block down there.
Trinity Jackson with the block. Recovered by Kizzy. She's going to drive down, and she's going to lose the ball. That's going to be another turnover.
Arkansas State has just turned up the heat. Monticello seeking to get in another shooter. Hopefully they can stretch the floor with her, maybe stop this bleeding. Because if you're Monticello's coach right now, you're searching for an answer to try to stop this. This avalanche has been going nonstop. They still haven't even committed a foul, Arkansas State. You got to try to draw something, force the issue down with them.
Peavy out to Elders, who will drive it in, get it to Trinity Jackson.
Trinity Jackson
fights through
overpowers
the
and
contact.
one. Just powers through all 3 defenders down low.
When you have 3 players all with a hand on the ball there and you can still get that shot up, that's something you love to see.
And exactly, and if you're the coach, keep feeding. It provides an option, you know, it's like a safety valve. If you're not seeing anything out here with all the ball movement, but you got her, even as we just saw with 3 on her, she's still overpowered, I'd keep going down there. And knocks down the free throw.
And Monticello will be playing in the penalty for the rest of this quarter.
Look at that. That went from a 5-point lead to a 14-point lead in the span of 2 minutes game time.
And they haven't even been utilizing the long ball thus far.
We see good defense from Arkansas State remaining vertical, but they got to secure these rebounds. We see them fighting down low. Licia pulls it out. Arkansas State pushing it. And another break. I'm going to have to take a look at these fast break points because this is what's killing Arkansas Monticello. I'm not seeing them able to stop them on the break at all, and Arkansas State's content to continue pushing it. Oh.
Star Taylor takes contact on the side there. No
Nice
fouls
Euro
called,
step right there.
as Kizzy drives it in for their first points in over 4 minutes.
That's a heck of a defensive stretch right there.
All right, and they get another chance here off the steal.
Okay.
Kizzy down to Mackenzie Johnson, who
Okay.
gets the layup to go.
Monticello's starting to get back to their game a little bit, somewhat. Settling down on defense. They've got a couple consecutive stops, forced a couple of turnovers. Uh-oh. You see right there, right to the, like I said, get it right there to the middle of the zone right there. Gets that free throw area, one of the corners. That high-low game, it's going to be there the whole game.
Peavy couldn't get that shot off. She lost the handle there. And Odell's going to inbound it for Monticello.
Got to love the fight you're seeing out of Monticello right now. We were just discussing if they will rise to the occasion or shrink from the spotlight. They're rising.
Definitely want to see a push here from them in the end of this second quarter if they want to stay in this game.
Exactly. You want to, if you're the players and if you're the coach for Monticello, you want to get this to a single-digit margin by halftime, something doable, because that alone can be mentally strengthening for you. You know, then you're looking at it. If you're going to halftime, you get it to maybe 8-6. You're going in there, okay, we're still in this game. It's not like we're down double digits already. And another steal by Arkansas State.
Harden loses the dribble there. Star Taylor recovers. Out to Westbrook.
Wide
Gets it out
open
to
three.
Elder.
steal.
Eventually, those shots are going to start falling.
You gotta imagine
You would hope,
it's
right?
about to explode at some point.
Just takes one.
You see Monticello moving the ball around the perimeter pretty fast. Immediate move to the basket. A rebound by Eckert.
Taylor had a good look there.
Another rebound, offensive rebound, leading the points. You see Arkansas State starting to pull away on these boards as well. Monticello remaining down 14. Currently 25 to 39, 3:05 left. Look at this defense. There's no breathing room. Another steal. Arkansas State forces another one.
Elder driving to the left wing. She's going to drive it in, and that layup is good.
Another one. These turnovers, these live ball turnovers are killing Monticello, and they're not getting back as well on defense. We're seeing consistently 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s. These are things you run in practice every day.
Hales gets it to Harden. Trying to find somebody to get that ball to, and that pass almost got intercepted yet again.
The pressure we're seeing from Arkansas
man.
State. Wide open three in the corner, though. Missed.
Just a little strong.
Another offensive rebound from Monticello.
Odell up top, gets it to Hales. Over to King, who's going to drive it in.
And a foul called on PV.
Their first foul of the quarter.
That's the way you defend. When you can defend without fouling, you can completely flip a game on its head, and we're seeing that result already.
If you can go almost a whole quarter without getting a foul, I'd say that's pretty good defense for you.
Absolutely.
With a minute 42 remaining in the second.
And by my count so far, they've already forced 5 turnovers in this quarter, and they scored on 4 of those. So part of this avalanche they've dumped on them. A strong, 8 points of that came live ball turnovers leading to transition baskets.
Desiree King sinking the first free throw.
And if you're Monticello, at halftime, one of the things you have to discuss, one of the things you have to discuss is transition defense. You should be getting back as soon as you see the balls up. It's cool to go for the offensive rebounds, maybe send somebody to crash the boards, but the rest of the people need to get back because they're being killed right now on the fast break.
They're going to sink both free throws, cut it to 14.
Peyton Tennyson leading the way right now. We see Monticello has gone back to the 2-3. They gave it to the middle, kicked it back out. Hop step, jumper, slightly off the rim. Monticello
couldn't quite pull in the rebound there.
Dangerous pass, but leads
Odell for another 3. Almost gets her second. Barely rims out.
Down there at the offensive rebound.
Essence Reese.
Monticello works
those points to go. It's a 12-point game. Can they cut it to single digits? Inside to Westbrook, who gets the easy layup.
You're just seeing the movement. You're not seeing anybody just standing around on offense for Arkansas State's constant man and ball movement. You got to love it. Everybody's touching, everybody gets to eat. Oh, my.
Hales out to Harden, who almost loses the touch. Pass it over to Odell. Thinks about the 3.
Arkansas State is absolutely locked in. Wide open 3, though. Badly missed. Arkansas State seeks to push again. We see Star handling it, bringing it up. She crosses midcourt. Immediately outlet pass to Jada. We see them slowing down. They move somebody. Tennyson comes up through the middle. We see Westbrook standing at the elbow, seeking to get that. Trying to continue to move that zone by putting it right there in the middle of it.
All right, so A-State will inbound the ball with about a 6.6 second in the shot clock differential there. Gets over to Ford.
Jada
and
Ford
there it is.
Immediately for 3. This could be the start. You had to know that the 3 was coming at some point.
That's a solid way to end the second quarter. See if
Star almost with the steal. A 3 from Monticello. Rims
that
out.
will spawn right back.
Arkansas State leads at halftime 46 over the Monticello Cotton Blossoms, who have 29.
We saw the offense pick up there in the second quarter for sure, but the defense is what really kept this game going.
If you're Arkansas State, you got to be pretty content with what you've done so far. Your first quarter started off slow. It was full of you guys fouling. You slowed down on defense, locked in, and as we saw as a result, they had, 1 foul in the quarter and completely blew the game open. Their defense led to over now 10 points in transition. They got to the line a lot in the quarter as well, and they started knocking down those free throws. Those are two huge differences in the game right now.
And there was that 6-minute stretch where they really pulled away, where they only allowed about 4 points there.
Exactly.
That's really what's going to capitalize that first half for them.
Exactly. When you're looking at the stats, you see Arkansas State shooting 54% from the field overall. That's great. You're making over half. Every other shot essentially you're making it. Now they're shooting 11% from three, but like we discussed earlier, all it takes is one. Jada hits one right before halftime. You got to imagine their mindset going in.
As you said, 11% from three, but I mean 54 on the court overall, which is something that you love to see.
Right, exactly.
All right, so halftime here in Jonesboro at the First National Bank Arena. Red Wolves leading 46-29.
And we're back, starting the third quarter with Arkansas State Lady Red Wolves leading 46-29 over the Arkansas Monticello Cotton Blossoms. So what did you see there from the first half that caused this sort of lopsided score?
I mean, it was definitely that paint scoring that we saw. We saw some fast break points. That was something you pointed out. I mean, Trinity Jackson and Alicia Peavy have been the leading scorers so far with 9 and 8 respectively. But I mean, everybody's been getting some action so far. It's not just one or two people contributing. I mean, we've seen some solid rotations from Boyer so far. Especially a lot more of that in the second half.
We saw really Arkansas State's bench take over 28 points in that first half. And immediately Monticello trapping in the corners. Oh my, and causes a steal. Taken back, ooh.
That's going to be a foul.
It's a shooting foul, okay. Wow, but Monticello coming out pretty aggressive there, trapping every time the ball went to the corner. Gotta like it.
They're going to charge that to Charlene Perry of Monticello.
Oh, wow, so they called it on the ground, not as a shooting foul.
And Westbrook's going to inbound. Gets it out to Peavy in the corner.
And you notice the different lineup coming out of the half. Look at that. Okay, so they're running a 1-3-1 right now. Back into the middle. Immediately, it's right there every time.
Elder misses the deep two there, rebounded.
Are you a fan of the new analytics that say, you know what I'm saying, that you've seen a lot of NBA and college teams adapt with it's not a layup, you need to shoot a three. They don't like the mid-range, or are you still a fan of?
I've never been a fan of the deep two unless they're a known range shooter. But I mean, sometimes you see players they're lined up for a three, and then they take a step closer, and then they'll take the deep two instead after they lose their defender, and that's something you don't like to see.
Monticello, and the blocking foul. That's 2 fouls already on Monticello, but Monticello had great ball movement down here, led to an open three. It was just a flat shot, one of the ones that looked like he possibly could have got stuck on the rim. Yeah, but I'm like you on that. There are only a few players in today's game who remember, they've been saying for about the last decade that mid-range shooting is becoming a lost art. So most coaches are embracing that three-point or layup, no in between. But if you can do it and you're a proven shooter in that range, you want to go ahead and. Arkansas State knocks down the first free throw.
Especially those players that can create space off ball and then get that wide open shot. I mean, if you can get the shot open, take it.
Now, I'm curious to see if Arkansas, the miss, okay. They're not, they're pressing regardless. Arkansas State remaining, picking up everybody full court.
Washington on Kizzy as she pushes down.
Washington has been a great floor general this game. Wow, she gets her own
Too strong
rebound.
on.
It gets a third. Oh, my.
Third chance blocked by Heckert. Inadvertently, it looked like.
Arm straight up so the refs couldn't call the foul. You got to like the way they converge, but they have to box out. It's a third foul already in the quarter.
It's going to be a loose ball foul.
If you're Monticello, you better slow it down, because they're going to end up in a 1-and-1 situation already early on. We see that's a nice out-of-bounds play right there. Give it to her right there on the baseline area.
It didn't go through, but I mean, it was executed pretty well.
Okay.
Is he over in the corner?
Okay, I like what Monticello did right there. They've got, instead of playing a bigger post person, they got somebody smaller to draw Eckert all the way out to the three and below by her. You saw that athleticism right there when she went right past her. You gotta like the thought.
Almost bounces in, but gets an unlucky hop there on the rim.
The three-point shooting woes continue for Arkansas State as of right now. But again, we saw one go in. It's a matter of time, I'd say. Same with Monticello. Blocking foul on Eckert right there on baseline. I like what Monticello's doing. They're attacking Eckert specifically. They're going at her. They see that she's a true center, and they're pulling her out of the paint, out of the comfort zone, and they're forcing her to defend along the rim. You got to love what's going on right there.
It's one way to open up the paint.
And you see how Arkansas State immediately countered by subbing her out and putting in Peyton Martin, a faster, more athletic individual who's going to be able to guard multiple positions.
Martin has to reach for that inbound pass. Almost lost it out of bounds there.
Oh,
and it's blocked by Peavy. but they're going to recover.
You see, this length of Arkansas State is causing some serious issues. Look at these wingspans out here. And they're using active hands. They're not, you know what I'm saying, they're not reaching and fouling like they did in the first quarter. It's been another forced turnover. You gotta admire this effort you're seeing from them. It's awesome to see.
And PV inbounding to Washington. He's going to take it up the court.
You gotta love the way Washington has run this game. Both defensively, she's been the spearhead, and then offensively, she's initiating all the offense.
Back out to Westbrook inside. And Martin's going to be fouled on the layup. She'll take 2.
We're reaching that danger zone. They're already down, but, you know, they're down 18 as of now, but this is true danger zone. You see how many fouls they've already picked up in the quarter? This could go left, like in the worst of ways, so curious to see how they respond. If I'm Monticello, actually, I'm calling a timeout after, you know, the second free throw made or miss, just to try to settle down, talk to my players, explain to them the offense we want to run, and then our defensive philosophies. But for sure, if I'm Monticello, I'm calling a timeout. This is starting to look like it could get out of hand.
We're seeing kind of a similar slow start that we saw at the beginning of the game. I mean, neither team has really done much scoring thus far. Only 2 points for Arkansas State.
Yet somehow they've extended this lead quickly. Oh my! They're playing. Woo! This is danger zone right here. These are what coaches dread. The game is starting to get out of reach, but you can still fight and stay in it. But it could go either way. You know, either way is so fast.
Perry out on the left wing.
She's surveying the defense. We see Arkansas
Shari
State.
Swift at the top.
Arkansas State is just, they are in these passing lanes.
Oh, and it's
another turnover. Well, she takes it. Jump ball, possession, wheel.
We had
possession stays here with Monticello. Okay.
Washington and Kizzy fighting over the ball there.
But you gotta love the effort you're seeing, and coaches love a player who's going to get dirty and get on the floor for these. You gotta love what you're seeing. Monticello just looks flustered on offense right now. They're not even able to get the ball off the perimeter. The pressure is so great. If you're Arkansas State, you're loving this.
Perry inbounding to Kizzy, who's going to drive it forward, passes it back out to Perry.
Oh,
shot clock violation. As that shot rims off anyway.
Anytime you can force a shot clock violation, you're content with the defense on that possession.
Especially in NCAA with a longer shot clock of 30 seconds. I mean,
exactly.
Very rare you see that kind of violation.
Exactly. That means you have to be stifling out there on the perimeter. Like, we're literally seeing them struggle to get the ball in. If I'm Monticello, I got to get some off-ball action started immediately. Peyton Martin, a great shot across the middle, rims out.
Off back of the rim, rebounded by Shari Swift. And gets it off to Perry.
And immediately see Arkansas State stepping up as soon as they cross half court. Just look
over
at
to Jada Harden.
Now, if I'm Monticello, I'm trying to get some backdoor action. We see how aggressively they're playing these passing lanes. All you got to do is fake out just like that. You see how she faked out and went back in? Rather than come out forward, you know she's cheating for a steal. Just cut back door on her.
You want a mid-range jumper by Kizzy.
Exactly. You want to see more of those backdoor cuts that lead into the open jumpers. If they want to play over aggressively, make them pay for it.
All right, and a three from... It's going to hit the back of the rim there.
Now let's see if Monticello takes any further advantage of this. Arkansas State's playing so aggressively in the passing lanes. You got to punish your team for that.
All right, we got Trinity Jackson and Peyton Tennyson checking in for the Red Wolves.
You got to think they're going to go right down to Jackson.
Absolutely. I mean, she's got 9 points already.
3 rebounds, a block, the most emphatic block of the game. Absolutely. No question about that.
One of the best all-around players on the court right now for Arkansas State. Right, Perry inbounding. Gets it to Jada Harden, who passes it right back to Perry. Perry takes it down the left wing, guarded by Ford.
We see Jada Ford is checked in and provide more perimeter shooting. And
gets it inside to Mackenzie Johnson, who gets the layup.
Monticello making a little bit of a push here. Seeing some solid defense, leading some good options. They're back in a box and one, essentially.
We've got Washington up top, gets it off.
Ah, I like this. Okay, this is a special type of zone they're playing here. It's a zone with man properties. So when the ball gets swung, you match up like Manning, you double down on the baseline, but Arkansas State immediately dissects. But you got to like that. Looks like a boxing one, but every time it goes to one of the short corners, you see a double team or you're manning up. That's a good way to keep an offense on its heels, but Arkansas State dissects it.
As we see Westbrook get the layup off of the assist from Jackson.
Monticello
Kizzy driving in.
Monticello's starting to have a little more success on getting the ball inside. Another offensive
misses the mid-range jumper. Goes off the back of Westbrook, and it's put back up by Mackenzie Johnson.
We're seeing the aggressive nature of Arkansas State somewhat bite them right now on this quarter. 15-point game, 50-35, Arkansas State.
Washington Tennyson on the left wing, gets it back to Ford, who gets it back to Washington on the right. Inside to Westbrook, back to Tennyson, who takes a three. And that one's going to hit the backboard.
The three-point drop still continues. You just
rebounded by Jada Harden.
And see, this is a case where I feel like if you're a coach, you want your players to make your extra pass. I feel like one more swing down there, Jada Ford was wide open in the other corner. It was still a good shot, but sometimes you defer for a great shot.
It's going to be deflected out of bounds by Washington.
Arkansas State is, I would like, one thing we'll talk about at the end of this game, I want to look at deflections, not just the steals. I think Arkansas State is getting their hands on almost every ball.
Forcing Monticello to kind of regroup and try and draw up a play, but I mean, you're also giving the Lady Red Wolves a chance to kind of regroup.
Exactly, but if you're Monticello, you like what you're doing so far this quarter for sure.
Thus far out of timeouts, the Lady Red Wolves have been killing it. I mean, they've drawn up some perfect plays. Just off of dead balls as well. I mean, they're regrouping and they just kind of redrawing up a new plan, adjusting. And I mean, you know, entering his 20th year, Brian Boyer, I mean, he knows what he's doing. He's been a great coach. I mean, he's making the right adjustments in this game, as we saw plenty of in the second quarter. Hopefully we'll see some after this timeout, about halfway through the third quarter. Haven't seen too much offense from the Red Wolves.
Even in the first half, it wasn't really much on the offensive end they were getting. It was more so all coming from the defense. So you got to imagine he's going to continue to turn up the heat on that defensive end, play those passing lanes aggressively, and try to go from there. Now, if I'm Monticello, I'm content with what we're doing here. We're chipping away at the lead slowly but surely. We got it down to 15. We want to keep playing safe ball. You know, they're struggling somewhat to penetrate here on the perimeter, but they're still getting just enough. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing a lot of offensive rebounds. If the Red Wolves don't start boxing out, this could get even closer. So you got to like what you're saying here if you're Monticello. The only thing you don't like, the fouls.
Absolutely. 4 fouls. Just over 4 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Red Wolves leading 50-35.
Sheesh, this isn't either team's game in terms of three-point shooting. We're seeing 1 for 12 from Arkansas State and then 2 for 16 from Monticello.
So the three-point hasn't really been much of a factor in this game, but the points in the paint has really been the key factor for the Red Wolves here. Outscored them 30-8 in the first half. It's been pretty much the same story here in the second so far.
If I'm Arkansas State, I'm trying to get the ball inside again. Some of their best offensive work, like set play-wise, is coming from dumping the ball in and working that high-low. Every time they got Westbrook or they got Peavy right there in the middle with Jackson down low, they worked a two-man game, and it seems virtually unstoppable thus far. So if I'm still continuing to struggle from outside, let's get inside. Let's continue to rack up some fouls, slow the game down, get it at the rim, and then we can push off that.
Now, a lineup that I would like to see at some point in this game is one with Star Taylor, Alicia Peavy, and Trinity Jackson all on the court at the same time.
Star Taylor immediately checks in on cue. Now, when we saw her come in the first half, she immediately had 6 straight points, 2 steals, and an assist in that stretch.
So we'll see if she can have that same level of production. 12 seconds left on the shot clock for Monticello as they inbound.
They have got to be cognizant of that.
All right, out to Kizzy. She's in deep, guarded by Taylor.
Oh,
she drives it in and
straight to the hole. Oh, good,
just a little too strong on that layup.
Strong rebound by Westbrook.
Absolutely. Tennyson bringing the ball back down court. Over to Star Taylor.
See that high-low right there? Elbow. Pull up by Jada Ford. Slightly off.
That shot's just not falling back.
But you don't stop pulling it. If it's open, you got to take that. You can't let your mentality change because you're missing. A cold game can turn hot really fast and vice versa. Got to have a shooter mentality.
All right, about halfway through the shot clock here as Perry drives down
Oh,
and
my.
loses the ball over to Tennyson. She's going to push. She's going to take it all the way for that easy layup.
Well, you thought Monticello was gonna, thought she was gonna contest that, but I don't know how I feel about the effort.
Being made here at the dead ball.
Yeah, I don't.
Morgan Wallace coming in for Jada Ford.
I'm not exactly sure how I feel about the effort on that defense. She ran all the way back to not contest the shot. I'm not sure if the coaches likes that either, but.
Harden inbounds to Brianna Hales. Guarded by Star Taylor. She's on the right wing over here.
We're seeing
Back
some
to
dangerous
Perry, who
passes.
gets it to Desiree King.
Look at this man up. You see how they're doing down low? They're fronting the post. And when they front the post, the backside defense is there, so if they try to lob it over the top, it's a steal. You gotta love what you're seeing there. Good ball movement from Monticello leads to a nice layup right there at the rim.
Star Taylor cross-court pass to Tennyson. Gets it back out to Westbrook at the top. She drives in. She's getting double guarded there. Taylor with the ball out to the left wing. Inside to Westbrook.
Westbrook with the good move. Oh, what a block.
Just out defended there.
Okay. Monticello with the 2-on-1. Good pass. She misses the finish at the rim.
Jada Harden can't capitalize.
That was a good chance there.
Hail Mary pass down to Westbrook, who gets the wide open layup.
Yes, Westbrook, when she fell down there, she went ahead and just stayed parked. Said, either way, we're going to get a basket out of this situation. Smart play, heads up. And that's a better play by, Arkansas State keeping their head up for that go-ahead.
And an excellent pass.
Absolutely. That was quarterback style. Love it. Okay, Monticello got somebody running the baseline continually. Oh, my.
Essence Reese gets that put in.
Bully ball. She said, too little. Get out the paint.
Her second shot of the game.
She's been actually very effective in her stints that she's been in the game. Very effective. We've seen 2 blocks out of her and 2 strong baskets. Okay. Oh. They call the foul.
Star Taylor inside to Heckert, who gets fouled by Essence Reese. That's her first personal. But that's going to put Monticello at 5 for the third quarter. So Heckert will shoot 2.
Arkansas State with 9 steals and just continuing to increase on that margin.
Heckert sinks the first one. She's going to split those free throws. Rebounded by Brianna Hales.
Monticello pushing the ball down the court. Let's see what they want to run here. Oh, you see the passing lane read perfectly by Tennyson.
As I said earlier, those cross-court passes, people are going to pick up on those eventually.
And with how aggressively Arkansas State's been playing the passing lane this entire game, you'd think they wouldn't continue to attempt those passes. That's another steal. We're at 10 now.
Tennyson at the line, shooting her first of 2 free throws. First one hits back of the rim.
Still somewhat struggling from the line.
Peyton Martin's coming in for Morgan Heckert, or Madison Heckert, rather.
12 of 20 from the line for A-State. Meanwhile, Monticello is 11 for 12.
So we're going to see a smaller lineup here by Arkansas State.
Feels like they're about to try to blow it open right now, huh? Spread the floor, have the flexibility to go back to that switch everything defense they were using in the first half. Monticello advancing the ball. We see Arkansas State picking up full court immediately. Look at this length. They're all in the passing lanes.
Out to Kizzy at the top. Gets it inside to Reese, who can't quite get that shot to go. Kizzy back on the side. She's double teamed, and there's going to be a loose ball foul.
I think they called a timeout. Okay, I see what it was. When she got tied up over here, they thought she was going to get trapped, so they called the timeout.
Gotcha.
Monticello trying to avoid another turnover in the quarter. Smart. What do you like that you're seeing this quarter so far?
It's been a little bit of balance of defense and offense. It hasn't been too offensively heavy. Only 10 points for the Red Wolves thus far. In fact, it looks like both teams have only scored about 10 points. So, they're tying the third quarter thus far.
Yeah. It's crazy because it felt like Arkansas State was starting to reach that phase, that next phase, and go ahead and put the game away. But guess not. But they are in the bonus the rest of the way too, so they can be as aggressive as need be.
We got just over a minute here left in the third quarter.
Right, right.
Red Wolves leading 56-39. Still a 17-point game.
This is interesting. Around this time last week, this was already out of hand. And Monticello is looking very impressive in managing to keep this within reason and within reach. You got to feel like if they can get a few more stops and maybe get a couple more good ball movement and scores, that this could maybe Arkansas State tighten up a little bit.
Definitely want to see a push here in the last minute, 7 seconds by the Cotton Blossoms. Want to see them kind of cut into this lead, maybe give themselves a chance in the first quarter. Don't want to give themselves too high of a hill to climb in just 10 minutes. At the end of the second quarter, we did see a short flurry from Monticello.
True.
And they kind of crawled back for a minute, but then Arkansas State hit that three and a couple other shots, and it wasn't really much doing for them.
I'm still surprised at the three-point shooting from both squads today. Still.
It has been disappointing, but Arkansas State has made up for it elsewhere on the court. They've scored most of their points coming in the paint.
Exactly, and a lot of those, the reason they're coming in the paint, transition. You know what I'm saying? Right now, their best offense has been transition offense. They're pushing it off of makes and misses, and definitely off of forced turnovers. Gotta love what you're seeing.
All right, so coming out of this timeout, it's going to be Monticello ball with about 27 left on the shot clock. Minute 7 left in the quarter. Red Wolves heading back to the court now. And Perry to inbound for Monticello. Gets it into Kizzy. Back to Perry over on the right corner.
Seen a lot of movement.
Trying to find some
this.
space.
We've seen a lot of off-ball movement on this possession. This is what they were doing. When they were successfully scoring, they were doing this. Oh, another
lack of communication there leads to another turnover. King was not ready for that pass, and so Red Wolves will take over.
I think she was also trying to do what we were speaking of, what they did successfully earlier. Saw them overplaying the passing lane and cut back door, and she thought she was going to come all the way out, but she didn't.
We've got Tennyson on the left wing, out to Wallace.
Uh-oh.
Back to Tennyson, inside, and that pass just didn't go. It was a little too high.
You see, I just
Martin loses the handle. It's going to go out of bounds back to Monticello.
I love how Coach Boyer has them on the fundamentals on offense. He sees his own, flash to the middle. Get that ball in the middle, and then we'll get it down low, and we'll go from there. Now,
All right, time ticking down in the third quarter.
Another steal for Arkansas State. Another one. Wallace
loses the ball. They get it back inside to Martin, and she's going to get fouled.
Is it a shooting foul? They're going to call that on the ground is the question. Doesn't matter.
They're in the bonus, so it's going to be shots.
Ooh, Arkansas State just continuing the pressure in the passing lanes. Like, you're seeing the use of his length and athleticism. He keeps it flexible. Sometimes he'll go big down low, but sometimes he'll switch to the small ball squad that defends all positions, and they're switching. Off every screen, they're switching everything.
Peyton Martin sinks the first free throw. Makes it an 18-point game, 57-39. 24.4 left in the quarter.
If you're Arkansas State, you think they want to get to 20, right? Try to put the margin at 20 going into the fourth quarter.
All right, they're going to push here. They don't want to let them get any more momentum to end this quarter.
And just look at this full court. Like, they are picking them up as soon as they inbound the ball. And just staying in front of them. Another steal.
Try to make a move on Taylor, but she's not going to let that happen. She gets a steal, drops it all the way down for the quick bucket.
The impact she's had every time she's checked into the game.
And that's how we're going to end the third quarter, with the Red Wolves up 21, 60-39.
So talk to me. You're Monticello. What do you tell your players right now? It's fourth quarter. It looks like it could be out of reach, but what are you looking for at this point as the coach in this quarter?
Well, I mean, you saw a lot of just kind of frazzled ball movement out there. I mean, they were trying to find an open shot and just couldn't get it. They couldn't find one. So, I mean, you want to create some space. You want to get some open shots. And you got to make those shots, especially now you're down 21. Not really much room for error here.
If I'm, okay, I'll go for both perspectives, I guess, just like that. Okay, if I'm Monticello, I'm looking to see who's going to still fight out here. Because if you quit on me, I'm going to take notice of that as the coach. Because if you'll quit in an exhibition game, you'll quit in a regular season game. You know, so I want to see good execution. I'm looking to see if we can settle down defensively and stop fouling. It's a new quarter. Let's not put them in a bonus early so they're rewarded for their aggressive play. We want to punish them by drawing some charges. The only charges in this game have all come from Westbrook from Arkansas State. She's drawn both of those charges. So I'm settling down, and then if I'm them, I'm going back to that zone some more. They've done a good job keeping Arkansas State from scoring out of it. And we're seeing Arkansas State having to essentially continue press on defense and do it to get those scores.
And there you go. That's what we got to end the third quarter. We'll be back in just a moment with the fourth. All right, and here we are to start the fourth quarter with the Red Wolves leading 60-39. Peavy set to inbound the ball with Taylor in the backcourt.
And they have gone back to the matchup zone. Okay. I think this matchup zone is actually one of the reasons behind this good. And immediately they get it baseline to the cutter for an easy layup for Peavy.
That's her 10th point of the game.
She's been very active.
All right, now we got Kizzy up top, guarded by Taylor. Gets it inside to Chari Swift. Back to Harden. Defense is just smothering them outside the line here.
They can't even penetrate. They're not even able right now to get inside.
Getting back to Perry. Time taking down on the shot clock. She can't get that to go. It's going to be off of A-State, so Monticello will get another chance here.
But you like that shot there from Monticello. It was a wide open shot right here at the top of the key.
At this point in the game, those are the shots you need to take. Perry inside to Kizzy.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to force them, but if they're there, you definitely want to take them.
Right, Perry back outside. Thought about taking that three.
You see how they're smothering these passing lanes. Even when they come across the middle, it's cut off immediately. Wide open three. Nice pump fake.
Excellent look. Just can't get it to fall there.
And here we go, pushing in transition again. Another layup and a foul. Well, definitely a shooting foul.
So Wallace is going to get a trip to the line here. So that's going to be the third personal foul on Perry for the game.
And the shooting woes are just not only at the three-point line right now, they're at the free throw line as well.
Wallace rims out the first shot.
They've doubled them up in terms of free throws. They're just not hitting enough of them.
He's going to split those, put them up 63-39.
You got to imagine Coach Boyer will have them work on some free throws in next practice or something. Maybe an additional.
Definitely going to be a key point of focus for them.
They play well in pretty much all phases of the game. It's just it's the small things. And it's always the small details that make you a championship team. And we see the length continue to just harass them.
Kizzy got trapped down in the bottom of the paint there and just could not get the ball out, so she had to throw it off the Benet State player. Harden to inbound.
Nobody. Oh, I was
Gets it
gonna
over
say,
to King in the corner. She's going to take that look, and it's just short.
nobody is hitting threes on either side, despite good looks from both. And we see Monticello struggling to get back. Oh my, what a move right there. The pump fake blow by, causing their defender to fall.
When you're getting played like that on shots, I mean, there's not really much you can do. Great defense, just couldn't hold up with them.
Something I'm noticing, Arkansas State is taking away dominant hands too. If you're righty, they're not letting you drive right, they're forcing you back left. And another steal. Tie up and position.
Taylor Farley tried to get that pass in through too much traffic there. They're going to call I believe a jump ball.
Yep, possession maintained by Monticello.
So Harden's going to inbound again.
Okay,
We
see
got
the floor
Washington
general.
about to check in.
Washington checks
Checking
back
in for Star Taylor. Harden gets it back in to Taylor Farley. Back out to Kizzy.
My, we see him get tied up down.
Oh.
Okay.
And
a shot clock violation.
it looks like she kind of lost track of the shot clock there because she was setting up, and I don't think she realized she only had 3 seconds. Tried to throw something up, and it just wasn't anywhere close.
You got to be conscious of your shot clock at all times. Even though it's 30 seconds, it seems like such a long time. We see over and over again Arkansas State's pressuring them so much that they're forcing these violations.
So Monticello down 21 to start the quarter, and they've yet to score, and we're about 2.5 minutes into this quarter. Meanwhile, the Red Wolves are up 67-39.
And look at the pressure extended all the way to half court. Still, this is relentless. The
Definitely
passing
showcasing
lanes.
their defense in this game.
Oh my! Active hands. This
Swift out to Farley, and she's going to knock
finally.
that down for the first points for the Cotton Blossoms of the quarter.
Finally get a 3 to fall. That's big.
25-point game, so
Could this maybe
still
open
a long
the-
road to go.
You got to wonder, could this maybe open the floodgates for him in his last 6 minutes? Or
If you're Monticello, you sure hope so. Now that's one thing. If you can force them to take a 3, you have to get the rebound off of that because you don't want any second chance points. Even though Monticello did win the first half in second chance points 11-6, it seems like it's getting the better of them in this quarter here.
in this quarter, we've also seen Peyton Martin, who's currently at the line and knocks down her first free throw. We've seen her very active, about 3 rebounds. We've seen her get to the line now, 2 separate tries. Gotta like the energy she's brought to the squad.
Kenzie Johnson checks in for Shari Swift of Monticello. And Trinity Jackson is sitting by the scores table, ready to check in. Next dead ball.
Monticello pushing the ball down. Immediately another steal. We see the
Another
link
intercepted
over and
pass
over.
by Peavy. She's going to take it in.
Oh, no look.
No look pass.
Oh, my. Showtime out here.
Excellent play to get Martin the shot there.
Defense to offense. There's nothing you can do about that. Now up to 13 steals on the day. They've more than doubled up Monticello. And then a block. Peyton Martin is very active right now.
Player of the fourth quarter thus far. Washington out to Wallace, and she had her foot out of bounds when she caught that pass, so it's going to be another turnover.
See, coaches are always preaching to the guards, don't do jump passes. Stay grounded because when you get caught in the air, that's how it's a turnover. And right there we saw her jump and sort of sail the ball. She had to readjust to get over there in the corner, stepped out of bounds.
All right, and Martin, after that quick flurry of shots, she's going to check out for Trinity Jackson, so it looks like her night might be over.
Very good game from her, very solid in all aspects. Got in some foul trouble early, but rebounded nicely.
Kizzy a little too strong on that layup, rebounded by Washington. Pass tipped, gets it to.
Wide
She's
open
going to get it out
three.
in the corner for Elder.
And
Knocks it
finally,
down.
a second 3 goes down. They are now 2 of 15 from 3. This could open the floodgates. You want to
You'll
finish
take
strong.
them whenever you can get them. It's now a 31-point game.
You want to finish strong with the three-pointers. Even if you shot poorly all game, if you can knock some in, it can build confidence for, season opener.
Farley out to Mackenzie Johnson.
Okay.
Gets it over to Harden.
Blocked again. The length is leading so many blocks and steals. This is just they're showcasing their defensive traits tonight. We see Trinity Jackson setting up in the paint early. She's got her woman sealed. Big move. Goes around. Gets her own rebound.
Almost got it to roll in.
Strong move, strong post move. You gotta like that. Wide open
Farley
lane.
drives
Goes down
in.
the middle. And drives
through
the foul.
traffic to draw that foul. She'll take 2.
If you're Arkansas State, though, you like what you're doing. Some of these are some very good habits you can keep building on moving forward towards the regular season. Obviously, they'll iron out some more of these kinks in practice. You know what I'm saying? Some of the passes, some of the turnovers. They'll work on this, but they've largely been able to defend since the second quarter on without fouling. That's been a big catalyst of the defense getting so many turnovers.
And PV checking out in favor of Ashley Claiborne, getting her first minutes in this game.
She knocks down both free throws. Still 13 of 14 from the free throw line. They're doing a great job.
Washington crossing half court. Guarded by Harden.
Oh,
Out to
my. I
Williams.
like that. Active hands right there. They went to double immediately. Caught her off guard. She forced a pass that wasn't there. And
That's
paid.
a Farley takes a 3. She'll
Oh.
knock that down. And so far, we've already seen more threes in this quarter than we have in any other quarter
Entire
thus
game.
far.
Monticello now has 4 in the game. 2 more than Arkansas State. Oh, my. Active hands. Jackson still down there strong.
So that's 11 points for Trinity Jackson. Long pass down to
Another
King,
steal.
and stolen by Trinity Jackson.
The
Just
length we're seeing on these players.
instant production is what you want to see off the bench.
Arkansas State, one of their strengths for this season clearly is going to be within the bench. The bench has come in and absolutely flipped the game. You got to love what you're seeing right here. And if you're the coach, that has to feel good knowing you can go deep down your bench and the standard of play maintains the same.
Claiborne lost the dribble there.
Steal from
It's gonna get
Monticello,
stolen by
one-on-one. Is
Monticello.
she stops? Passes for a
Farley
3.
out to Perry.
Rims out. Monticello with the rebound, stolen away.
So Washington gets the steal. They're going to push back again. She drives in, and she's going to take that layup and knock it down. 77-47.
30-point game. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with on the defensive end. Their defense alone is going to be able to keep them in a lot of these games. We're seeing in this quarter alone, I've counted 4 steals in this quarter. You got to love what you're seeing from them. And if you're Monticello, you've been playing hard. Nobody's quit. Nobody's given up. You've actually made a push. It's just that for every good play that you're putting out there, you're counteracting it essentially with some of these turnovers. We're seeing this length. You have to do safe passes. And we're seeing, like you said, the entire game, some of these cross-court passes getting picked off. We're seeing length down here on blocks. Some of this is just an opponent that seems to be longer and a little more athletic.
I think the biggest part of this defense and the effect that it's having on this game is it's not allowing Monticello to get a flow in. They're not getting any momentum, and they aren't getting a feel for their offense because it's constantly being interrupted by these steals and these blocks.
That's exactly what we're seeing. The little bit, every time they get into a flow, immediately a steal or a block. Meanwhile, we see Arkansas State, they found a groove offensively. They relied on their defense all day with forcing turnovers to get transition buckets. But as of this quarter, we've seen them going down. They found some open shots from mid-range, from 3, and they've gone back to the post. So you got to love they found themselves their own flow they can build on moving forward. Seems to be their best options.
I expect to see a lot of that this season with the defense kind of running the game for them.
They can absolutely be a top defensive squad. The length we're seeing, the athleticism, they're playing these passing lanes, and even when they're getting beat back door, we're seeing the backside help come over, hands up without fouling to be able to defend.
All right, so we got about 3.5 minutes left, so it might be a little early, but who is your player of the game for the Red Wolves?
Ooh, this was a tough one. This is a very tough one, but I'm going to give it to 2. I'm going to have to go co-player of the game, okay?
That's fair.
Washington, okay? She may not stick out that much on the stat sheet. She's got 6 rebounds, 5 points. She's got 3 assists. She's also got 4 steals. She's been an absolute floor general here. We've seen her absolutely running the game on both sides. She spearheaded the defense. And then the other person I'm going to go with Star Taylor.
Really?
Came off the bench. Every time she's subbed into the game has been an absolute impact. Defensively, offensively, she's shown great court vision, no turnovers. You got to love what she's brought to this team.
You know what? We might as well just give it the hockey 3 stars treatment, and I'll go ahead and throw in Trinity Jackson into that mix.
Absolutely. She's been dominating down low the entire game on the boards and in the paint.
She's the leading scorer so far, but, I mean, she's contributed so much more than that.
You see the presence. You're seeing not only is the perimeter pressure preventing them from even going to the game, but we're also seeing when they come down there and Trinity Jackson is down there, block shot. The link is just right there. You got to love what we're seeing.
Just great performance by a freshman this year.
She was a top 25 player coming out of Kentucky. You got to love what she's brought this squad.
Definitely going to be a player to watch this season.
You got to figure they're going to leave her in the rest of this game, continue to get some reps, continue to get used to this defense. We see some of the freshmen out here now.
Marley dishes it out to Harden, who gets it back to Perry for the right wing 3, and she's going to knock that down.
This is, like you said, the threes are starting to rain in. All it takes is seeing one go down, and then it opens the floodgates.
So you're just kind of wondering, what was this in the first half?
Sometimes people get loose at the end of the game when they feel it's out of hand. Uh-oh, okay.
Forward back to Williams. She's going to dish it to Washington.
Okay, they go down to
inside to Jackson, but
stolen
can't
by
quite
Monticello.
hold on. So Farley's pushing, and she gets tripped up. So it looks like that's going to be a foul on A-State.
You like that aggression there from Washington, though, trying to atone for the bad pass down there.
And that's only her first foul of the game, and we only have just under 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So I mean, great defense from her, and but staying disciplined and not committing fouls that can put them behind.
You see the disappointment in Jackson as she leaves the game. You'd soon probably be done for the night. But she's had a wonderful game. Nothing to hang your head at, be upset. Everybody wants to play, though. A rebound immediately for Eckert.
That's what the exhibition games are for. I mean, you're just trying to let everybody get a feel for the game and test out some lineups.
Exactly. Last year Arkansas State used over
out.
16 different lineups. So, like starting lineups. We see a good block right there from Washington. Second chance points go in for Monticello.
Washington pushing the ball past half court.
Monticello's actually kind of making a push here. It's 77 Arkansas State, 52 Monticello, down from 30 to a 25-point game. We see them working an inside-out game
Eckert
right
inside
there.
to Claiborne for her first points of the game.
She flashed baseline, and then she immediately cut down from the elbow. You got to love the player movement. That's good ball. That's good ball movement there. You got to love that.
Farley guarded by Washington here.
And to see your players executing this late in the game, like not slacking off or playing hero ball or anything like that since you're up, you got to love the discipline.
And Perry knocks down another 3.
Threes are starting to come fast and often now for
just too little too late for the Cotton Blossoms.
But if you're Monticello, you want to build off of that, these threes you're seeing. Oh, and another
strong pass goes right through Claiborne's hands, and Monticello's going to get another chance here.
I wonder if they're going to try to gun for another 3. Oh, we see an overplayed pass
lane. Drives it in, and she's going to get that layup.
Another layup. Like we've been saying, Arkansas State's aggressively playing these passing lanes, so if you can make them cheat too much, you can cut back on them. She blew by right there.
8 quick points for Monticello, but there's only a minute left in the game, and it's 22 points.
And
especially now as Williams knocks down the 3. So the game was pretty much decided by the end of the third quarter, but at least we're getting a show here in the fourth with this impressive shooting.
Absolutely. Johnson has been balling for Monticello. 4 of 7 from the field, 14 points. She's knocked down most of her free throws. You got to love it, the effort.
Is that 3 from Shari Swift rims out, but offensive rebound, and they're going to get the second chance points.
You got to love the heart you're seeing. There's been no quit in them this entire game.
All right, with time ticking down here, only about 4-second differential between game clock and shot clock. 26 left in the game.
They continue flashing to the elbow, putting it in the middle of the defense.
Eckert almost loses the dribble there. Gets it back out to Ford, who drives it in. And
I was going to say that was.
They're going to call that a shooting foul with about 15.7 seconds left to go.
A little bit of a delay there. I was worried for a second. Arkansas State hit 3 threes in this game. Jada Ford was one. Another one was definitely Williams. And who was the third three? No matter.
We had threes from Williams, Elder, and
Ford hit one.
Ford hit one.
Okay.
Yeah, so got
Pretty
three different players
consistent
getting
with
those.
their, pretty consistent there.
All right.
Let's see what Monticello
Farley
does
bringing the ball
as the clock
past half
ticks
court
down.
for the last possession of the game, most likely.
Okay, blows by and goes straight to the rack.
That's
Strong.
That's probably one of their best possessions of the game that I've seen. Just a solid move to get down into the paint for the easy layup. And now Washington will dribble the ball out. And that's going to do it from here at First National Bank Arena, where the Lady Red Wolves win 84-61 over the University of Arkansas Monticello Cotton Blossoms.
You gotta, if you're Arkansas State, the few things you want to take away from this, okay, here are your 3 key points. Defensively, we are solid when we're not fouling. They slowed down and stopped fouling. They kept playing those passing lanes aggressively, and we saw how many steals that led to. 16 steals and 5 blocks. They were using that length and athleticism. 2, they have a solid array of options down in the mid-range and post area with Jackson, with Westbrook, with Peavy, and also with Peyton Martin. We saw they could consistently dump the ball into the mid-range or into the post and score at will. And then the other thing you want to take away? Free throws.
Absolutely.
In this game, it didn't come back to bite them, but it's something you can definitely iron out moving forward because that's one way to separate yourself, from the field. If you can knock down those free points, slow down the game, that allows for that margin of victory to be even bigger.
All right, so that's going to wrap up the preseason for the Lady Red Wolves. They're going to open their regular season play this Friday at Oklahoma State, and they will be back at First National Bank Arena here in Jonesboro, Arkansas next Monday against Memphis. Again, that is Red Wolves winning 84-61 over University of Arkansas Monticello. Thank you for joining us, and have a great night.